100 million years ago on an African beach, a lizard less than 1 meter long was wandering about, perhaps searching for food. This small creature would later evolve into the famous mosasaur. At that time, they were just insignificant land-dwelling reptiles, mainly inhabiting cliffs or beaches. In an era dominated by dinosaurs, their less than 1 meter stature made them neither aggressive nor well-defended. Virtually any carnivorous animal would consider them prey during this period. Suddenly, the food-seeking lizard spotted potential prey and began running faster. However, a giant foot suddenly blocked its path. Judging by the massive shadow that hadn't moved for a long time, one could imagine the enormous size of this dinosaur. Before these Egyptosaurus, these less than 1 meter lizards appeared utterly insignificant. Taking desperate risks for food, the impatient lizard actually dared to scurry between the giant beast's feet. It was literally risking its life just for a bite to eat. In the distance, a crayfish was slowly moving across the sand. This turned out to be the lizard's desperately pursued feast. The lizard eagerly scrambled toward its prey, and watching it devour the food ravenously showed how low its survival requirements were in that era. Unfortunately, the supergiants on land ultimately left them few opportunities. These ancestors of mosasaurs relied on their big mouths to gulp down as many crayfish as possible before predatory dinosaurs approached. Suddenly, a 5.3-meter long, over 450-kilogram Abelisaurus came charging toward the beach. Although they lacked tremendous bite force, they possessed astonishing running speed among carnivorous dinosaurs. Even at full speed, these small lizards' tiny steps couldn't outrun the Abelisaurus's long legs. Those who had eaten their fill became the Abelisaurus's meal, while the half-fed lizards were forced by the Abelisaurus to change direction and flee toward the cliffs. The few lizards eaten still hadn't satisfied the Abelisaurus's hunger, so it desperately chased after the remaining ones. With a sheer cliff ahead, the only refuge was a stubbornly growing tree. The cornered lizards had no choice but to climb toward this last sanctuary. However, the slower climbers were inevitably caught and eaten by the pursuing Abelisaurus. Watching helplessly as these defenseless lizards took refuge in the tree, the frustrated Abelisaurus at the base could do nothing but roar angrily beneath the branches. No matter what, it couldn't reach the lizards, so close yet so far. But misfortune never comes singly. The lizards that had climbed the tree then faced an aerial disaster. A group of Quetzalcoatlus arrived and effortlessly snatched several more lizards. The remaining lizards anxiously moved back and forth on the branches. Just then, the second wave of pterosaur attacks began. Looking down at the Abelisaurus beneath the tree, the lizards truly couldn't find any way out now. Facing the vast ocean, though these lizards still wished to remain on land, survival ultimately drove them to leap into that unknown expanse of water.